to Stylish Naija YouTube channel. I want to say thank you to all of my subscribers. Thank you guys for subscribing to Stylish Naija YouTube channel. Thank you for your love, for your support. If you are new to the channel, you are highly and very welcome. If you have not subscribed already, please, I would appreciate if you would hit on the subscribe button, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Actually takes nothing to do that. Okay, so in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to cut this fitted like a bodycon top, so you can see it with a collar on top of it, so you can see with a bishop's collar. So that's this is very simple tutorial. So this is the fabric that I'm going to be making use of. I'm making use of this lace fabric, and it is a stretching fabric, so you can see it's stretching. So I have so much of the fabric. I have about 4 yards, so I just cut out some pieces that I'm going to be making use of for this tutorial. So since it is a stretching fabric, I'm not attaching any lining to it, and I'm not going to be adding any zip. So I'll show you how to achieve that, even though you have the collar and yet it does not have a zip at the back. So you can see my stretchy part. So I place my stretchy part on this side, and then I folded. I'm using my bust measurement, which is 36. You divide into 4, you have 9 inches. So I just added about 3 inches, which is really not necessary because it is stretching. So I'm just going to add just like 1 inch allowance to the dress. So the length of the what I cut out is 26 inches, because this dress I'm going to be using it, I'll tuck it in, so that is why the length is so long. So the next thing, I will mark our shoulder, which is 14. Divide 14 into 2, you have 7 inches. So like I said, I'm just going to add just 1 inch allowance to this, and then from this point I just came down a little bit by half of an inch, and then I'll use half of my armhole, which is 16. You divide into 2, I have 8 inches. So that 8 inches, I'm going to mark that 8 inches like this. So this will serve as my armhole, the round part of my armhole. So the next thing, my bust, like I said 36. You divide 36 into 4, and then I'll just add 1 inch to it, which is 9. Add 1 inch to it. So that gives me 10. So that measurement, I'm just going to run it, what I have here, I'll run it to the down part of my dress. Okay, so you can see it's just like a basic, you understand, this is just like a basic dress. It's not going to have any dart. So the next thing now, I'm going to create a shoulder slope here, just a tiny slope like this, and then I'm going to cut this out. So the next thing we're going to do now, I'm going to add my neckline. So for the neckline, because I'm going to add the collar to it, I don't want it to be too wide, so I'm going to use 2.5 inches for the neckline. So that 2.5 inches, I'm going to come down by 1.5 inch. So I'll cut that out now. Go for the back and the front. So for the back, for my back piece, I'm going to open up my back piece. I'm going to create an opening here. So the opening is going to be deep. It's going to be as deep as 7 inches. So like I said, I'm not putting a zip inside. So I'll cut it out up to like 7 inches. So this will make it easier for me to wear, to put on the top. Okay. So the next thing now, we're going to cut out a collar for this, and then we'll cut out the sleeve. So for the sleeve, I'm just going to use a basic sleeve. So if you see the sleeve, there's a normal straight sleeve. So mine, I don't want it to be too puffy like that. I want it fitted. I want it very fitted. So I'm trying to get the stretchy part of my fabric, and then I'm going to fold. I'm going to fold to cut out my sleeve. So I'll use a basic sleeve. That's just what I'm going to do. Okay, so for the sleeve, so I'm using about 20 inches So I'll add an allowance to it to make it like 21. And then I'm going to mark on this point. I'll just come down. So I folded my fabric. I folded it at 8 inches because it is a stretchy fabric. So actually my measurement is about 8. That's when you that's 16. Okay, so this is like my, I'm so sorry, I said 16. My measurement is, that's the full round measurement. You can see it. My full round measurement is about 8 inches. So when you divide into two, is 4 inches. That's what I meant to say, not 16. So this is folded into 8 already, which is okay because I have excess of allowance there. What I just need here is 8 inches round. So from this point, I'm going to come to this point. I'll mark my round armhole. So I'm using 9 inches. So that's 9 inches because this top part is a little bit big. And then I'll come to this down. I'll just mark 4 inches down. Why? I just want to have a curve for my armhole. So I'll just curve it down that way. And then from this point, I'll use my round. You know, I'm using 8 inches, which is 4, but I'm going to add a little bit to it, and then I'll just mark it down like this. So this down part also, this down part, this is 5 inches. This top part, you know, the top and the down, they are not the same. So this top part is about 12 inches, which is okay. This is 14 inches. 7 divided into 4. So I'm going to cut this out right now. So I'll use this to cut out the second one. The next thing now, we're going to mark our collar. Okay, so before I cut out the collar, I will go and join them together so I'll be able to get the accurate measurement for my neck collar. So the stitching is a very simple process. I'm just, for this part, I'm not using any facing. I'm just going to fold it and just secure it down. And then I'll join them on the shoulder part. As I'll join them on the shoulder like this. So this is the shoulder. I'll join them, join the other one, and then I'll join the side, and then come back and measure around to cut out the collar. Okay, so I've joined my piece together. So the next thing now, before we cut out our collar, we're going to measure around our neckline. So it is a simple, this collar is a very simple one. So I'm just going to measure it around like this. So at the end of the day, I got about 18 inches, I suppose. Okay. Yeah, I got about 18 inches, like 17.5. I'll just make it 18. So it is a simple process. I'm just going to, I want to use 1.5. I don't want the collar to be too high. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I folded my fabric, my paper into two, 18, so which is 9 inches. So I have my 9 inches there already. So I'm going to mark. So I'll use this point as my starting point. So this part is my start line. And then from this part, I'm going to curve this point a little bit. And then I'll mark my 1.5 inches. So I'll make it 2 inches because of stitching. And then from here, I'll just curve this down. So this is going to be the, the part that I'm going to stitch to my neckline, which is the round part. So I'm just going to curve it a little bit. So that part is not entirely straight. So on this part, I'll just give it a little curve because it's going to be facing the back. And then I'll cut this out like this. And then this will be for the front piece. So at the end of the day, I'm going to have about 1.5 inches collar. So I'm just going to stitch it around the neckline like this to the back, so you can see how it is looking already. You see it when you stitch it around, you see it. Okay, so I'm going to transfer this on my fabric right now. So I cut out a piece of fabric, and then I'm going to place it like this. So this, you actually have two options. You can decide this top part, you can decide to open it, stitch it and turn it. But I don't want to do that. Why I don't want to do that is because my collar is going to be supported at the back. That's, I'm going to add, there's this stuff, they call it Chinese collar. I don't know if you have seen it. They use it to hook, like hook collar. So I'll show you later. So because of that, so I don't need to, I can control my collar. If it's not tight, I can always pull it to be tight. Or if you don't have that kind of control, you would want to open this up, stitch it and then turn it. So I hope you understand. So I'll just go ahead now. I'll cut this out on my fabric. Okay, so I finished cutting the collar. So now I'm going to show you how to stitch this. So what I'm going to do now, take this back to my machine and then I'll stitch this part close and then do the same thing to the other side. After doing that, I would come back and show you. You just put a notch. Let me just explain it though. You just put a notch at the center like this. So you turn it out and then iron it, and then I'll put a notch at the center like this. So you can see my notch is already here. And then you take the center of your neckline like this. So I already marked mine with a chalk. You take it like this and then you stitch it around. Just stitch the collar around. So I'm not adding any stitch to this collar. So I'm just going to stitch it around the neckline to the end. And then I'll bring it back and show you. And then for the sleeve, oh, you can see my sleeve is just a basic sleeve. So I'll cut out a band of about 1.5 inches that I'm going to add to it. I'll just use my paper. It's just a straight band. Just cut out a straight band like this that I'm going to stitch at the down part. So I'm not putting any cuffs. So I'm just going to stitch it on it like this and then I'll join it to the down and fix it. So I'll finish that and then come back and show you how the final look of our dress looks like. Okay, so you can see what I did to my neckline. So after stitching it, just like I explained to you, I now placed it down like this and then use a top stitch on the front part, so you can see just a tiny, so at the end of the day you can see the way the inside is looking. So I'm just going to serge this part. So that's it. So there's another way of actually doing this that you can do it that you will not have any edge like this. So I already have a video of that on my YouTube channel also. So this is just like a very simple way for beginners. Okay, so this is the Chinese collar that I was talking about. So it actually comes like this. They sell it like this. I actually bought this. I think I bought so many. It's 200. That was some months back now. So I used one of it. So this is the second one. Why I used one of it? If you are making a dress that you want a open neckline, you can decide to use the two. So that will kind of like give it like an opening at the back like this. But me, since I want the neckline to be closed, so on this other side, I added a button on it. So when I wear it, this will help close my neckline properly. So to make it fit, and yet I did not add any zip, and then it's still going to fit properly. Okay, guys. So at the end of the day, you can see how our bishop collar tops looks like. It actually came out really fine. So I can't wait to rock this and share a picture of it with you guys. So thank you so much. If you follow this tutorial and you are able to make this dress, please send me a picture on WhatsApp. So thank you so much. If you find it helpful, please hit on the like button. I will see you in the next video. Bye.